So I thought today I'd talking about another classic Disney movie that doesn't have as much attention, I'd say, given to it by the company, but it's become, I don't want to say a cult classic, because I think it's a little more popular than that. But in recent years, it's definitely gotten more popular with the older age group. I'm talking about Treasure Planet. This was, and I'm really surprised myself that it took me so long to realize this. This is a sci-fi retelling of Treasure Island, which is a classic novel, and it helped introduce like a whole lot of pirate adventures to people years and years ago. And this is honestly a fantastic movie in every way. This was a story that hadn't been told in so long, and was told in a really creative way. The people behind this project came up with all these alien designs, the design of the ship, these planets, this atmosphere to go in, these machines, this technology. I thought it was really fun, and I was very disappointed when I found out that it didn't do really that well compared to other Disney movies and films in general. I really don't understand why, because like I said, it's such a good movie. Aside from the creative aspects, there's also a lot of emotional aspects too. Jim Hawkins, his father leaves him, which is, goes against the standard formula of just the parent being dead. They actually, make it clear that his father left. And there's this really painful, emotional moment in one of the songs where we see a flashback of this happening, and it kind of just tears your soul apart to see young Jim affected by this as he sees his father leaving. And he's still affected when he's older, and it's just horrible. But it's kind of a necessary horribleness, in my opinion, when you have this story and this actually does happen. Parents do leave and they don't come back, and there are children who want to see this kind of thing in stories and with their heroes, so they've got something to connect to, so they know they're not alone. There's Captain Amelia. It's honestly one of the coolest and best characters. I love her so much. I made her one of the characters in one of my fanfics. All this story. You have Dr. Doppler. You have all these awesome pirates. You have these awesome aliens. You had an annoying robot who I honestly think they could have toned him down a little. He and Ben, but he wasn't too bad, I guess. This was a fun adventure. I really loved the way they portrayed Amelia and Doppler's relationship. It wasn't exactly love at first sight. But it wasn't like constant fighting and like slap slap kiss kind of thing. This was an actual gradual mutual respect sort of thing. Like they didn't hate each other. They just didn't understand each other, and they had to like build up to that, which made the oncoming romance almost sweeter for me. I did think it was kind of cliched at the end. They have all these kids. I thought that was really unnecessary. But when you learn about this movie, you find out about the things they could have done. You're kind of grateful for that. One example, I remember that apparently some original plans would have Doppler as the pregnant one in his alien species, and I'm really kind of glad they didn't go in that direction. I think that would have been a bit too much. Then that's to go back to the really hard emotions. Jim becomes friends and eventually like a son figure and a father figure for the pirate. I'm gonna feel really bad that I forget his name right now. I'm sorry. And you can tell this is not gonna end well. Maybe not kids can tell, but adults can tell this can't end well. This pirate's so suspicious, and he fits like what he was supposed to. The warnings said about him, and it can't possibly be good. And yet, the movie really makes you believe he cares about Jim. There's no doubt about it, and it's painful to watch, but these things kind of happen in real life too. You know that good people and bad people can get along even when they shouldn't. It's really a movie with so many layers to it, in and out, and like I said, I just don't understand why it didn't do well. This kind of emotional, fantastic movie with this unusual lead character for Disney movies. I mean, this was a kid who, was so brilliant, but didn't choose to use his smarts for anything, beneficial. I mean, in past heroes and heroines, their kind of specialness was obvious. It's everyone else who chose to ignore them. But this kid had his specialness, and he chose to ignore it himself and only use it for his own selfish needs. Until, the whole huge adventure came along. And yet, we couldn't, dislike him, because, this was a kid, again, who we could see in ourselves. He felt that because his father had given up on him, life had given up on him. And he didn't know what he wanted in life, and he had so little things to hold on to. Maybe it's just me in my, bad situation I am now, but I think this is a really fantastic kind of character, something we need to see more often. Someone who just, needs a little direction and help. And that's what he needed. He needed to find what made him, what he could use his special talents for, and not just for causing trouble, not just for exploring, but to help others and to see what was out there. I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense, but just contradict myself here and there, but I have a lot of feels for this movie, I guess you could say. This is like a kind of movie that I don't think I've even seen any face characters for, which is incredibly unusual. I mean, there's even face characters and stuff for Atlantis, albeit really rare. But yet, this is one of those things. I feel pretty free to prove me wrong if you've seen them. I would love to prove wrong about this. But this is something I've never actually seen any material for in the parks or anything. I don't know why Disney would see it as disappointing, because, again, great film. I don't think they really should be disappointed in much of their films. But I am glad, that my generation is seeing the beauty of this film and sharing it with other people and, sharing with the younger generation. I am glad there were no sequels or TV, spin-offs of this thing, because I think it ended well. I didn't think anything needed to be continued. I think it was satisfactory where we left it. I just wish the story itself could garner more praise for its efforts. Because, obviously a lot of effort was put into this. I've read Treasure Island, and honestly, I prefer this version. Can you blame me? I mean, you've got a cute romance, you've got these magnificent characters with, all these appendages, and these emotional depths I just could not find in the book. Maybe it was because this movie was made for a more modern audience, maybe, who knows. But if you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. I also have trouble finding flaws with this movie. And you know how much I love to go on about flaws. But as always, if it's my opinion, it's your opinion, we're all entitled to them. And I think I should probably wrap this up about now. So, wrapping up, really recommend Treasure Planet. When you see it, say your opinion. And if you like it, then spread it as much as you can, because it deserves that. And with that said, have a magical day.